Okay, welcome to today's, this Wednesday's brunch Dharma talk, 22nd of April. Today we are going to look further into attachments and becoming. Why are we looking into all these defilements? Why are we looking into attachment? Why are we looking into becoming? Well, because these are the causes of suffering. These are the reasons why we are stuck in samsara. So we have to investigate these causes. It is only when we know these causes, it's only when we know where the cause of being in samsara is, where the cause of suffering is. So only then can we find a solution. Sometimes, we are comfortable in our life. We are accustomed. We become accustomed to the way we live. That's when we are fully attached. First, we crave for something that we want. And after we got what we wanted, we are attached to it. After we become attached to it, we become accustomed to it. We become accustomed to it because it is within us, around us. And we feel comfortable. So when we are comfortable, it means we are attached to something. We have reached a state, of comfortableness. Now, if you see our daily life, you find that in the morning we get up, the first thing to do, we have a shower or brush our teeth or whatever is it that we do. Then we have our breakfast, right? And what happens if you miss breakfast one day? Your mind is not the same for the whole day. I missed breakfast today. What's going to happen to me? I feel hungry. I have to have an early lunch. You see? But when you have your normal day, you don't have the problems, right? Then the next thing you probably do is, find out what's going on in the world. Pick up your mobile phone. Find out what's the news. And what happens if you can't find your mobile phone? You panic. Right? You're so accustomed to this thing. Accustomed to get this daily input, daily satisfaction. Something we become accustomed to. There's something that we need to be comfortable. What happens if you miss your lunch? What happens if you miss your tea break? What happens if you miss dinner? What happens if you miss your sleep? So all these things we are accustomed to becomes part of us. When we are attached to something, it becomes part of us. And when we lose it, we lose a part of us. And we realize it. So the only time when we feel, the only time when we know we are attached to something is when we no longer have it. That's when the longing comes. That's when the suffering comes. That's when the worry comes. That's when the fear comes. And that's also when the craving for it comes. So we have all this hidden attachment, this comfortableness, which we don't realize. Now, we come to realize it, especially when we miss somebody, And I don't realize how much previously I was attached to my spouse until she passed away in the year 2002. That's when it hit me. I was practicing very well, craving, I understand, attachment, I understand. But I didn't see that there's so many things in life that I've been attached to. When it's missing, then you feel it. Because it's there for you every day. Your spouse, your children, your house, your work, your hobby, your daily newspaper, your mobile phone, your coffee, the way you have your coffee, the cup that you use for your coffee, all those little things. Some of them are not very strong attachment, but some of them are very strong. Now you ask the question, why do we have to bother with all this? Right? I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I have all this. Right? Well, there are two answers to it. First of all, whatever you have, right, you may lose it. The other question is, can you cope? Can your mind cope? Will your mind be as normal when you lose these things? Will you be able to carry on living productively when you lose these things? Oh, that some people have divorce, breakdowns in a relationship, and it affects them. They totally change. They totally change because their life has changed, and they hate it. And it's because of this hate, their lives change. They want to annihilate themselves. They want to take the pain away. They make themselves suffer. In that way, they make others suffer as well, without realizing it. When we lose something, we hate losing that something. When we know we have lost something and we cannot get it back, we want to take a revenge. And if we can't take the revenge on somebody else, we take the revenge on ourselves. And that's healthy. That is unhealthy. And what's the cause of that? Attachment is the cause. Becoming attached is the cause. Becoming accustomed to these things is the cause. So that's one reason. The second reason is for us to progress spiritually, we have to tackle all the defilements that are within us. To get on the path of living samsara, we have to start to work with all these roots, the roots of craving. That's the second reason. Buddha taught us that only when we have eradicated cravings, when we have eradicated the cause of suffering, the origin of suffering, only then can we know the end of suffering. So that's the second reason. So how do we find out all the attachments that we have? One way is to remove yourself from the environment you are in. Because in your environment, you've set up the place the way you like. You put up the window curtains that you like. You bought the chairs that you like. If you don't like it, you change another set. Then you're happy with it. You're happy with your soft bed, the pillows that you have. So some of you have gone to a meditation retreat, where you have to keep the 8 precepts. That's when you start noticing, oh yes, I miss my morning coffee, I miss my usual morning breakfast, I miss my dinner, You say, oh, it's okay, it's only 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So you put up with it, right? You put up with it. That's the first thing you notice. So when you notice that you want to learn to not so attached to it. You want to learn to be not so dependent on it. Right? But the most important attachment we have to work with is the attachment to our body. Attachment to the way we look. Attachment to the feelings we always have. Attachment to the views that we have. Right? We get angry when somebody challenges our views. We get angry when you don't get what we usually get, take for granted. Where's my breakfast today? Or I usually have coffee after lunch. Where is it? So the most important part is the body. Right? Because one day you're going to lose it. You're going to leave it. One day it's going to get damaged. One day it's going to be deteriorated. One day it's going to fall sick. Right? So you want to see this body as just a body we have to take care of. We use it while we have it to train our heart and mind. That's the purpose. And every day is growing older. For some people who are young, it's growing stronger. But for those people who are past middle age, it's growing weaker. Right? So this body that we possess do not really belong to us. If it belongs to us, we can command it to stay the same forever. We can command to heal it. We can command for it to not grow. But we don't have any of those control. It goes according to nature. Once we reach our peak, it starts to deteriorate, to degenerate. What we can do is sustain it. Right? Heal it when it's damaged. Right? So you say, why should I give up this attachment? I'm happy, I don't have to do anything. Okay, one day I might suffer, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the state I am. The answer is, if you give up one attachment, you become a little bit happier. You become a little bit freer. You become a little bit lighter. You worry less. You are not weighted down. It doesn't mean that when you give up attachment, you suffer. In the beginning, yes. Because when you give up the attachment, the craving for it is there. The longing for it is there. You haven't given it up yet. Right? It's not there. You crave for it. But when you look at it properly, you bear with the craving. You use insight to break it down. This craving. Right? And when you no longer crave for this thing, then you get a kind of peace. You become light. You're not dependent on it. So the next time when you go back and you get this taste, are you happy? It's something new. Something you can enjoy. Something you don't expect. Right? Because you have lived without it for some time. Right? It is when you attach to something, it is something you must have, or else you suffer. But when you're not attached to something, then it's not something that you must have. See? You lead a simpler life. And when you get it, little things, you're happy. So when you start cutting off your attachment, you become happier. It is the process of cutting off this attachment is when you have to go through the suffering. Like Ajahn Chah says, you bear this suffering, this small suffering, to get rid of the greater suffering of attachment. Another way, a very good way, which lots of monks do, or lots of forest monks do, of getting to know the attachment is going on tudong, going on walking from one place to another. Doesn't matter where, they can just walk all day. In walking, from one place to another, we cannot carry our kitchen sink with us. Right? We cannot carry everything that we want, everything that we need. We can only carry just the necessary basic things. I remember when I first started walking, going on tudong, I carry about 16 kilos. That's about just what I could carry. But my pace was slow. I said, I need it. Later on, I reduced that 16 kilos to just 13 kilos. I found out that in 16 kilos, I can't walk as fast as when I'm carrying just 13 kilos. And there's not much, in 13 kilos. So when you go on tudong, you just realize, well, we are sleeping in a tent, we sleep in a tent at night, we don't have curtains, we don't have a pillow, you cannot carry your pillow. And what we have is just a yoga mat, and that's just about comfortable. In the morning, we don't have a hot cup of coffee, I just have whatever water that we carry with us, And all these things, very basic. 2 days, 3 days, sometimes you don't get a chance to have a bath as well. So what do? I use what they call baby wipes or wet wipes, to clean myself, and I have to be happy with that. Keep myself cool with just the baby wipes, that's it. So we learn a lot. So in this tudong, in this walking, Ajahn Sucitto, it just says that tudong is the shedding of your defilement. When you go tudong, then you see all this longing, Sometimes I don't get food, I just get one Kit Kat and a small piece of pie, And that's my lunch, And then I've got to walk another 5 kilometers. But that's it, We learn to live, We learn to accept. We cannot want more. If we wanted more, the suffering arises because we cannot get it. So we learn to be satisfied with that. Till today, I remember one of my greatest suffering when I go on tudong is there was one particular night, one particular morning, I haven't slept very well, and I was really very sleepy. I need to sleep. Right? It was not a craving. It was a very, very basic need to sleep. Because I've walked, about 20 kilometers the day before, and I did not sleep for some reason or other. But the next morning, about 6 o'clock, I have to get up. I have to pack all my things. I still have to walk. If I don't walk, then I can't reach the next destination before 12 o'clock. I don't get anything to eat. So these two cravings, craving to sleep and craving for food, those two came up in me. I have to walk, but I still have to sleep. So what do? I was a great suffering, really great suffering. I cannot sleep, and I cannot walk because I have not slept enough. So what do? I have to go walking. So from that day onward, I make a vow that I'm not going to be attached to sleeping. So when the suffering hits you really, really hard, then you know how much damage the craving can do to you. How much craving can alter your mind. How much craving can get you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. So we don't see that because we are in a comfortable position where we have everything. It is possible, although it's not unimaginable, right, that we could lose everything that we have one day. There are people who have experienced that. House on fire, floods, earthquakes. But maybe we are fortunate. We have good karma, none of these disasters happen to us. But we want to be ready. Yeah. We want to discover the things we attach to. We want to get rid of this grieving, get rid of this craving. So your task is to discover what you are attached to and slowly loosen the attachment. Slowly loosen the attachment. Right? Make it quicker. Then when you can, give it up. Right? But you got to find out, first of all, what is it that you're attached to? Okay, you've listened to the Dharma talk. Hopefully take up the practice, change your view, change yourself, and that way you gain more merit. And now you try to get bonus by transferring this merit that you have got today to your departed relative. You say, well, my departed relatives got good karma, they don't go into other realms, but you have lots and lots of departed relatives, generations of great grandmothers and fathers. Okay? Yatha varivaha purapari purinti sagaram evam eva ito dinam petanam upakapati ichitam patitam tumham kipam iva samijatu sabe purintu sangapa chando panaraso yatha manijoti raso yatha Sapi diyo vivajantu sabarogo vinasatu mate pavanvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava apiva tanasili sanicam buddha pacayino jataro dhammava Tantiya yuvano sukhang palang bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanupavena satha soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanupavena satha soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanu bhavena satha soti bhavantu